So the Utica Memorial Auditorium making some headlines here this morning, and a new policy that's going to be going into place. And what will it mean for smokers? First, the policy is once you're in, you're in. You can't go out. And if you go to a game, you go to a Comets game or a Pioneers game, you go to a concert at the Odd, whenever there's a break in the action and you look outside, there's a big group of people. They're not Pokemon Go people. These are Manaski's peeps.
Oh,
and they're out and they're out smoking a cigarette.
Yes, I'm a smoker.
So
it's just true.
What will happen? You will not be able to you will not be able to smoke during a game.
You know, I'll share some of the comments that were on our Facebook page. I'm just going right off the top here. I won't be attending anymore. I always carried concealed to hockey games with metal detectors and wands. I'll no longer be able to carry. Therefore, I will not go. That's what one of our commenters on Facebook said. This Odd is outdated and too small for just about any event.
Oh, come on.
Oh, boy. Stupid. This is a security procedure. They went through it the first time. This doesn't seem much different from any other sports venue or large gathering place.
Which most of them, I mean, you go to an NFL game or you go to anything on a national scale, you're going through you're going to go through a metal detector. You're going to go through,
and you won't be allowed back in. I remember,
and no entry is a big thing now. And I do think though that what's going on with these public shootings, and this place becomes what they call the soft target, right? Isn't that? I mean, you're seeing this all across the country. This is the result of these shootings. Everybody begins to panic, and then they tighten things up.
So I have here as well. Gotta love the nanny state. This is a bunch of BS, and smokers are going to hate it. So
yeah, I don't know that it's necessarily state regulated here, is it? Or is it just a policy that they're adopting?
No, I believe it's a policy they're adopting. I will say this, though. This is true. A lot of venues have adopted this. You can't re-enter, no smoking policy.
And why not the re-entry? Why not the re-entry? Is it because you could go out and get a weapon and come back in? And
well, maybe that's why. But, you know, like Syracuse, at Syracuse basketball games, it's like a no-smoking facility, and you can't re-enter. But if you go up on the second deck, they let you go out there, and at halftime, there's 400, maybe 4,000 smokers out there.
It's an open-air deck.
You know, same thing with, I've been to Bills games and Giants games where it's like, even Mets games, there's no smoking. It's a smoke-free facility.
Yeah.
However, if you go down that stairway over there.
Right. There's a place where you can go.
But when I was, even the first inaugural Pinstripe Bowl, which I can't even remember how long ago it was before 2012, and I had went to Yankee Stadium with a friend when I was still smoking at the time, and they were strict even then, the new Yankee Stadium, and it was just for a football game. It was the Syracuse football game.
Yeah.
And they said, no re-entry. So you weren't smoking.
Period. It is. It's something worth getting into. We'll talk more about it. Maybe you have some take on it. 7360186. Rachel Sutherland on the line right now. Big day for Donald Trump yesterday, Rachel.
Yes, Donald Trump yesterday in Youngstown, Ohio, talking about what he called an extreme vetting process in dealing with people coming into the country. So he expanded on the idea of a ban, some kind of temporary ban on people coming from the most volatile regions of the world, and it said, okay, let's check these people out a little more.
Yeah.
I think that tickles the ears of the folks who are concerned about terrorism, and that's probably most people.
Sure.
But at the same time, a lot of folks are asking, well, how is this going to work? Is it like a government background check? You know, living here in the Washington area for most of my life, I've, especially as an adult, got phone calls from friends of mine saying, well, you're going to get a call from so-and-so with such and such an agency, and they're going to ask you, do you ever see him drink, or something like that.
Right.
A lot of manpower.
Yeah.
So can I ask as well, how did he define the region? I know you said, I believe you said hostile areas, or I can't remember the word you used, but I'm seeing here in one of the stories that it said countries that don't share American values.
Right. So one can imagine, what are those countries? I mean, I don't know if he's talking about China, right? Because he talks about that all the time. He's talking probably about Muslim nations, those who practice Sharia law, that kind of thing, because that's what he's talked about leading up until now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But it was done in a. First of all, I mean, hey, India, we like our burgers here, folks.
Yeah, we don't like the caste system, so.
Yeah. So, I cannot get over though the difference in the speech because he was on teleprompter, and at least it sounds like Donald Trump was all on teleprompter yesterday.
Yeah, he does that. He has been doing more on teleprompter.
Yeah.
Than he has been.
But it's a different speech. It seems to be a different speech. But again, he's able to stay in line. I think this is probably what the campaign is looking for, not to have another one of these moments where, here we're debating his policy issue as opposed to debating over should he have said this, right?
Right. In this case, yeah, we are. And it seems like when he does the teleprompter type speeches, we do debate and talk about his actual ideas.
Right.
It's when he goes off script that we're talking about. Did he really just say that?
Yeah, that's right. And he just has such a. Just when you think the going off script part is all over, he surprises us with a brand new one. So
right. Let's see what happens today.
Interesting. All right. Thanks so much,
Thanks.
Rachel Sutherland, Fox News, and we're getting some action on this smoking thing. This is going to. I remember when I had a comedy club and New York State smoking law went into effect. And that was a shocking, because you go into a comedy club and what do you have, a cocktail? You go to a bar, you have a cocktail, and you had a cigarette. Right. Well, it's been how many years since then? And it's almost like we've forgotten that you could even do that. Somebody lights up a cigarette in a bar, and you're like, whoa.
Again, even
rebel.
For me as a smoker, like I've been to other states where it's not outlawed, and to see someone smoking inside, it's like almost like culture shock. It's surprising to see. At the same time, though, I don't know, to get a smoker, if you're a smoker, and can you go 3 hours without a cigarette at an event? Maybe if you're having a beer, too, at the game. That's a long time. Yeah. That's a long time for a smoker.
Here's and at the baseball stadiums, it's no smoking in open air. It could be outdoors, and you still can't smoke.
But again, they'll tell you
the place where you can go.
Yeah.
All right, I do wonder on the concealed issue. So if they're using a metal detector, does that mean that they see that you have a gun and you show them your permit and you're able to go in, or does that mean nope, you can't come in with that?
That's a good question.
I kind of wonder, will they stop people even if they have a permit from entering with a weapon? I was told by somebody who has a concealed permit. He said you would be shocked at the number of people that you'll go into an establishment, maybe you're in a bar, you're in somewhere, you'd be shocked at the number of people that are carrying. Because you wouldn't know, but you'd be shocked. Interesting. How about in Pennsylvania? A jury in Pennsylvania on Monday convicted Pennsylvania Attorney General Kathleen Kane of all counts in her politically charged perjury trial. Now, what she did, she leaked to the media some embarrassing information about a fellow prosecutor, and then lied about it, they say, in front of a grand jury. Now, she is saying, by the way, she is a Democrat, and this is kind of like Hillary Clinton-like. She probably called up Hillary and said, they've got me, what do I say? She says, I didn't necessarily lie, but maybe there were honest mistakes that I made while testifying to the grand jury. No intentional lies here, but maybe just a few honest mistakes. Isn't the honest mistake the fact that she decided to lie? That's probably the honest mistake. And in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's a very sexy looking T-shirt out, you can buy a Black Olives Matter T-shirt. An Italian restaurant in New Mexico is drawing criticism. After, you might remember, they put up a sign outside the restaurant that said Black Olives Matter, and they received a bit of criticism over that. But now they have these T-shirts out with a pretty young lady wearing the shirt, and it's kind of a creative black shirt, and it says Black Olives Matter. They offer hats as well. It's making national headlines. Owner Rick Camuglia says he put the phrase together on the restaurant's main sign to sell a new recipe, a tuna dish with black olive tapenade. He said the pictures were posted of the dish and the sign on Facebook, drawing complaints it was being insensitive and trivializing a movement aimed at trying to stop police shootings of black residents. He says he's not trying to stir racial tensions. He was only trying to sell food. So there you have that. Black olives matter. 6:52. Our own resident Donald Trump in the studio here. Big day yesterday as you're laying out the terrorism plans, your plans for terrorism and how to stop terrorism. Pretty big, man. Donald.
It's going to be amazing, let me tell you. We're going to have it's going to be a great test. Let me tell you. Jeff, you like the Regents and the Common Core. I know you do. This is better.
Well, let me so you're testing, you're going to be you're screening these people.
Yes.
In order to determine whether they have American values.
Exactly. But what it's going to be called, it's going to be called the AYAT. Are you a terrorist test?
Okay. All right.
So it's going to be great.
I like it.
It's the Are You a Terrorist?
Okay.
You know, we've got a great team of teachers, people. I took stuff from Socrates, all these philosophers, Plato, all these people, and even Alan Einstein. All of these people. It's their ideas. We're putting E = mg squared, whatever it is. All that's going to be on the test. It's going to be a great thing.
Instead of Common Core, you're going hardcore. I kind of like
good.
this.
That was good.
You like that line?
I liked that,
good.
Bill.
Okay.
Wow, classy.
All right, Donald. Thanks. And you're doing. This is our intern, Angelo. You're doing impressions of everybody around the building.
Yeah.
Now people don't know everybody around the building, but you do an impression of an ASCII.
Well, see, it started like very early because before he liked me, which he still doesn't now. But in the beginning of the internship, every time I would see him, he'd be like, "Hi, good morning, hi, I'm Jeff Manaski. Hi, good morning."
And Andrew's.
I don't want to. Andrew will yell at me.
Yeah,
he wants to.
I want to hear. Nobody's been able to ever impersonate.
No,
me.
it's funny,
It's only your laugh though, because whenever we make a joke, it's.
And I'm glad you haven't done.
Okay, I'm not an animal. Okay, it doesn't sound like.
That sounded like a donkey. Well, I'm glad you haven't come up with one on me.
Well, he hasn't shared it yet.
Okay.
Well, let's hear it, Angelo. Let's hear it. Now that you're in the studio with Bill,
I don't think
let's
he's
hear
come
it.
up with one. He hasn't come up with one, I don't think.
No. Jeff said he hasn't shared it yet.
Yeah, I think he's still working on it.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
it'll
good,
take some
good.
time. Maybe the last day of my internship.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah. So I won't be invited back, but
Next time you go to the zoo, be careful. Don't make fun of the monkeys. It's not a wise decision because the monkeys, and we've seen this, where monkeys seem to have these human-like feelings where they become somewhat embarrassed or humiliated or angry when a little kid is like picking on them. And don't you remember the one where the kid is up the YouTube video that was circulated around? The kid kept walking up to the glass and kind of teasing the monkey, and at one point the monkey lunged at him. Right? Do you remember that? Almost as if the monkey could hear what he was saying and was bothered by this teasing.
Right.
This is footage that's out there, the brand new. Monkey was angry, took his temper out on the family that was sitting there, standing, watching him, and he threw dung at them. The father was filming the primate, which seemed particularly upset as he visited Tiger World with his two girls. As the footage shows, the man seems to have already met this particular baboon. As he opens with the comment, "There he is." The girl starts waving her arms at the monkey, which makes him really mad. And then all of a sudden, somebody says, "You shouldn't point at him like that." And then he, right in the girl's face, little girl, really sad.
Oh no!
But it's something that you should know that you don't do. And I guess this one's really sensitive because they just pointed at him. Yeah. In Tokyo, current August issue of a magazine there features a story of a photographer there who is 85 years old, and she is a pickpocket. And it's as the years have gone on, she cannot stop pickpocketing. So imagine going to the nursing home, and the woman, it's like, "Where's my wallet?" She's an 85-year-old pickpocket that can't seem to stop. South Carolina high school teacher accused of driving under the influence, crashing her car into
The school.
a police officer, a police car, and injuring the officer. The crash happened on I-26 early Saturday morning. The 32-year-old was the officer. The 32-year-old was injured in the crash, and the woman was not injured. Of course, police say Turner has been employed with the Department of Education there for 8 years. And the headline, the reason this caught everybody's attention, it says high school teacher charged with DUI after allegedly crashing into a police car. Their question is, how could you allegedly crash into a police car, right? Of course,
I
we
guess it could have been
understand the language because they're trying to protect themselves from a lawsuit. Makes sense?
Could have been the cops' fault, though, maybe.
Could have been. And one that'll catch people's attention here, an Army veteran has been arrested in Texas for flying the United States flag upside down in protest against an oil pipeline near his home. And the veteran has been arrested. Homer Martz from Summers, Iowa, hung up the flag beneath a Chinese flag at his home. In anger of the pipeline, he's been charged with desecrating a U.S. flag and could face a fine or jail of up to 30 days if convicted. We're all under the belief, though, that this guy has the right, that this won't hold up.
Well, I just wonder if it makes any difference that he's flying it a certain way versus, burning it on the ground. Or
It's a little thing, part of the Constitution called freedom of expression. As ugly as it might be, and here's a veteran who fought and stood up for our country. Now, I'm not saying what he did was necessarily right or respectful, but he certainly has the right to do it. For God's sakes, they allow protesters. I mean, they'll go out and protest and burn a U.S. flag.
Right.
And they're not getting arrested.
I'm just wondering
this guy's making a political statement, and he was arrested and has been sentenced to 30 days in jail.
I'm just wondering if there's something in the law that says if you fly it a certain way, you can be charged because it's a sign of distress when he's falsely calling distress. I don't know, because how do they not know that? If we're talking about this and we know it, how do they not know that?
It still doesn't. There could be a law, but it doesn't. It doesn't pass the Constitution test.
Okay,
it's freedom of expression. Period. I don't know how they. I don't know how they even get away with arresting the guy. If he were to take it further, it's going to be 30 days in jail. He probably won't. This is his protest. But if he were to take it further, he would end up winning. Got a break. Hold on tight at WIBX.